Welcome to our exploration of a profound truth. The less you seek, the more you will find. This is not merely a paradox, but a gateway to a more fulfilling life. In our discussion today, we will unravel how this principle can transform our everyday existence and lead us to unexpected discoveries about ourselves and the world around us. In the first part of our exploration, let's focus on understanding the nature of desire and its impact on our quest for fulfillment. Desire is a fundamental human experience. It drives us to seek, to aspire, and to pursue. However, there's a subtle yet powerful truth often overlooked. The relentless pursuit can sometimes blind us to what we already possess. Have you ever noticed how, in your eagerness to achieve a goal, you might miss the beauty of the process or the lessons it offers? Consider the example of someone searching for happiness in material possessions or achievements. It's common to think, if only I had that car, that job, or that house, I would be happy. But this approach can lead to a perpetual state of wanting, where satisfaction is always just out of reach, waiting for the next acquisition. The irony is that, in the relentless pursuit of these things, one might overlook the moments of joy that exist in simple, everyday experiences. Now, let's explore a different approach. What if we shift our focus from seeking to perceiving? This involves being more present and aware of our current circumstances and deriving satisfaction from what we already have. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition or goals, but it does mean cultivating a mindset where we appreciate the present and are open to the joys that come unbidden without relentless pursuit. To illustrate, imagine walking through a forest in search of a rare bird. So focused are you on this task that the rustling leaves, the cool breeze, and the chorus of the forest remain unnoticed. In your single-minded search for that one bird, you miss the forest's symphony. But what happens when you shift your focus? Suddenly, the forest comes alive. What was once a silent backdrop to your search becomes a vivid experience of nature's wonders. This brings us to a critical question. What are you missing in your life by focusing too intensely on specific desires or goals? What depth and richness could you discover by easing the intensity of your search and opening yourself to what is already around you? Transitioning to practical advice, how can we cultivate this mindset of less seeking and more finding? Start by practicing mindfulness. This means actively paying attention to the present moment without judgment. Whether you're eating, walking, or talking with a friend, be fully present. This practice not only enriches your current experience but also often leads to the very discoveries and fulfillments we were previously seeking so earnestly. Another practical step is gratitude. By regularly acknowledging and appreciating what we have, we shift our focus from what's missing to what's abundant. This doesn't just enhance our mood, it changes how we interact with the world, making us more receptive to opportunities and experiences. As we conclude this first part, reflect on how changing your approach from seeking to perceiving could alter your experience of life. Imagine the peace and satisfaction that might come from this shift. What could you discover about yourself and your world if you allowed yourself to truly see rather than constantly seek? Embracing uncertainty. The path to profound discoveries. As we venture further into our exploration of the less you seek, the more you will find, let us delve into the transformative power of embracing uncertainty. This concept may initially seem counterintuitive or even uncomfortable. After all, uncertainty often carries connotations of unpredictability and potential disappointment. However, when approached with openness and curiosity, uncertainty can become a rich soil in which unexpected and fulfilling experiences can flourish. Consider the journey of exploration not as a straight path to a predetermined destination, but as a meandering trail with numerous forks and turns. Each bend in the road offers a choice, and each choice presents an opportunity to discover something new. This is where the magic of embracing uncertainty lies. When we release our tight grip on specific outcomes, we open ourselves to experiences that we could never have planned or predicted. The art of embracing uncertainty begins with accepting that we do not have all the answers. This acceptance does not equate to passivity or lack of direction. Instead, it invites us to engage with life's questions with a sense of adventure. What if, instead of needing to control every outcome, you could enjoy the process of finding out? Imagine the freedom in admitting, "I don't know what comes next, but I'm excited to discover it." This mindset shift is not just philosophical, it has practical applications in our daily lives. For instance, in our careers, rather than rigidly sticking to a single path, embracing uncertainty allows us to be open to opportunities that may arise unexpectedly. These opportunities could lead to more fulfilling roles that align better with our passions and strengths, roles we might never have considered if we had rigidly adhered to our initial plans. In personal relationships, this openness can transform our interactions. When we stop insisting on certain outcomes from our friends, partners, or family members, we allow our relationships to evolve in natural and more fulfilling ways. This doesn't mean we have no boundaries or expectations, but rather that we are open to being surprised and enriched by how our relationships unfold, deepening our connections in ways we might not have imagined. Let's consider a practical exercise to cultivate comfort with uncertainty. Start small by changing a routine in your daily life. Take a different route to work, try a new restaurant, or start a conversation with someone outside your usual social circle. Notice the feelings that arise with these small changes. Are you anxious? Excited? Curious? Reflect on these feelings and consider how they inform your relationship with uncertainty. Another powerful practice is to meditate on the impermanence of life. This can be done through a simple mindfulness meditation where you focus on the breath and observe how each breath is different. This meditation serves as a reminder that life is constantly changing and that our attempts to hold on to certainty are ultimately futile. Over time, this practice can help reduce the fear of the unknown and increase your comfort with life's inherent unpredictability. As we conclude this part of our journey, let's ponder a deep question. How might your life change if you viewed uncertainty not as a threat but as an invitation? An invitation to grow, discover, and transform in ways beyond your current imagining. The liberating power of detachment, unveiling true fulfillment. In this third segment of our exploration, we focus on the concept of detachment and its profound impact on our ability to find what we are not actively seeking. Detachment, often misunderstood as indifference or disinterest, is in fact a powerful state of freedom from attachment to outcomes. This does not mean we do not care about the results of our actions. Rather, it means we do not allow our happiness to be contingent upon these results. To truly understand detachment, it's essential to recognize the difference between attachment and engagement. Attachment is when our emotional state becomes dependent on specific outcomes or possessions. Engagement, on the other hand, involves participating fully in activities and relationships while maintaining an inner independence from specific outcomes. This distinction is crucial because it allows us to approach life with passion and enthusiasm without being overwhelmed by the fear of loss or failure. Imagine you are a painter. As an attached artist, your sense of self-worth and joy might entirely hinge on the acclaim your artwork receives. In contrast, if you are a detached artist, you immerse yourself in the creation process, finding joy in the act of painting itself. The reception of your work, while important, does not dictate your happiness. This shift not only enhances your creative freedom but also often leads to more genuine and compelling art because it springs from a place of authenticity rather than a need for validation. Now let's apply this to everyday life. How often do we hold back from saying what we truly think or from pursuing a dream, fearing rejection or failure? Detachment empowers us to take these risks, knowing that our worth is not determined by the outcomes but by the authenticity and effort we bring to our endeavors. This freedom opens up a pathway to deeper fulfillment because it aligns our actions with our true selves. Practically, detachment can be cultivated through mindfulness practices that focus on observing our thoughts and feelings without getting entangled in them. For example, when you notice yourself becoming overly anxious about a work project, acknowledge the anxiety without letting it control your actions or dictate your mood. This practice helps you maintain a clear perspective and make decisions based on wisdom rather than fear. Another practical approach is to set intentions rather than rigid goals. An intention sets a direction without attaching to a specific outcome. For instance, instead of setting a goal to win a race, your intention could be to train consistently and perform to the best of your ability. This shift in perspective reduces pressure and opens up the possibility of finding fulfillment in unexpected outcomes, such as discovering a new passion or building resilience. As we embrace detachment, we might find ourselves surprised by the richness that life has to offer when we are not narrowly focused on specific desires. This brings us to a deep and impactful question. What aspects of your life could transform if you shifted your focus from controlling outcomes to experiencing life as it unfolds? Harmonizing intentions, the symphony of less seeking and more finding. As we draw our exploration to a close, let's weave together the threads of desire, perception, embracing uncertainty, and detachment to create a holistic understanding of how the less you seek, the more you will find, can profoundly influence our lives. This final part will serve as a synthesis of these concepts, illustrating how they interact to form a harmonious approach to living more fully and authentically. First, recall the impact of desire on our lives. While desire is a natural and necessary driving force, its unchecked dominance can lead to a perpetual state of wanting, overshadowing the joys and fulfillments that are readily available in our immediate surroundings. The key is to balance ambition with awareness, ensuring that our desires do not blind us to the treasures we already possess. Next, consider the role of perception. By shifting our focus from incessant seeking to deeper perceiving, we open ourselves to the nuances of our experiences. This perceptual shift allows us to appreciate the present moment and find joy and value in what might previously have gone unnoticed. It's akin to tuning into a frequency where life's subtle but profound beauties broadcast themselves. Embracing uncertainty, as we discussed, invites us to view the unknown not as a source of fear but as a realm of infinite possibilities. This mindset liberates us from the constraints of our preconceived expectations and allows us to explore life's spontaneous opportunities with enthusiasm and openness. It is here, in the unexpected twists and turns, that we often encounter the most transformative experiences. Finally, detachment from specific outcomes enables us to engage fully with life without being held hostage by our expectations. This freedom is crucial for true fulfillment because it allows us to commit wholeheartedly to our actions and relationships, appreciating them for their intrinsic value rather than their potential to satisfy our needs or desires. Now, let us consider how these elements create a symphony of less seeking and more finding. Each concept is like a musical instrument, contributing its unique tone and texture to the overall performance. When played in isolation, Each instrument has its charm, but when combined, they create a rich, complex, and beautiful harmony. This symphony is not just heard but deeply felt. It resonates within, bringing with it a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. To practically apply this symphony in our daily lives, we can start by setting a daily intention to cultivate one of these aspects. For example, one day might be dedicated to perception, where you consciously notice and appreciate simple pleasures, like the warmth of the sun or the smile of a loved one. Another day could focus on embracing uncertainty, where you deliberately step into a new experience without expectations. As we conclude our exploration, reflect on how integrating these practices could transform your approach to life's challenges and opportunities. Imagine moving through life with less urgency to seize and more openness to receive. What new experiences might unfold? What deeper connections might you discover in your relationships? How might your understanding of success and fulfillment evolve? Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope it has inspired you to experiment with these concepts and discover for yourself how, by seeking less, you can indeed find more. Now, I invite you to carry these insights forward and see how they manifest in your life. Are there any specific areas you feel called to explore further, or any thoughts you wish to share as we wrap up our discussion?